This meeting is being recorded.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Coach T.
I'm Coach Am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to talk some sports. And our segment today is talking about teen moms. We're having a couple
Technical difficulties.
Bear with us. We have a teen mom coming on. She's trying to get on now.
All right.
And typically we have a quote of the day, but today I'm going to read a poem that I actually wrote. I wrote it last night, so bear with me, okay? And the challenge last month was Poetry Month, and shout out to our homegirl, Rebecca Dupas. She challenges us to write a poem every day in the month of April. So the challenge was, we become a fuller expression of ourselves. Write a poem that parallels you as a youth and more mature age to explain how you are merely a complete version of who you once were, okay? So I thought this was a great segue into our Let's Talk Sports segment today. So in my Rev Evans voice, when I look back over my life and think things over, I find me. The loud, big smiling, fun, loyal, athletic, ADHD, spontaneous leader, me, who played every sport, softball, track, field hockey, lacrosse. I know that's not all of them for those who want to be literal, but I like to hyperbolize things to get your thoughts flowing. You thinking, I wonder what she played. Cheer, dance, palms. Well, I tried cheer because all my cousins were saying rah, rah, rah. But I really wanted to be on the field running the football, holding the block. So yeah, that didn't work out for me. I was a tomboy and hated any girly girl activity, but basketball was a sport of choice. The one I had to go to in college and do what I do, still bowling while searching for a different me, never finding her, never changing from how I grew up. Now, many years later, I find myself still smiling, loud laughing, being a fun, loyal, athletic, ADHD, spontaneous leader. And yeah, playing sports. The ball has changed to foot and kickball, but my competitive nature still the same, adding some stuff to my resume, coaching and whatnot, mentoring the youth how to be who they are, not who they think they are perceived to be. Hair still pulled back, sneakers still on, no makeup, no filters while on the field or court. A little has changed. The grown-up comes out every now and again, adding heels and dresses, hair done, some liner to bring out a smidgen of the feminine characteristics. But my mindset's still the same. I'm an athlete that can go get dressed up every now and again just to keep things a little interesting. So that is our segue into our Let's Talk Sports as a team mom. Yes, Tamika, you're on. She says she can hear us, but we can't hear her.
Okay, let's see. Galaxy Note, is that you? So I'm gonna unmute everybody. Everybody's allowed to talk.
Okay, everybody's allowed to talk at this time. Radio check, Stacy, Coach Stacy, can you hear us?
This is Tamika. Can you hear me?
Hey, Tamika. Hey, Tamika.
But I can barely hear you, but I can slightly see you.
You can slightly see us?
Yes.
Okay. Can we see you? Why can't we see you?
Turn the volume up.
No clue.
You have your video on?
Do I have my what on?
Your video, okay. So you have your camera on to be able to be seen? So I'm gonna change your status, and then ideally you should be able to come in as a panelist, and that way you would see your face. Okay?
Are y'all playing the go-go music?
No.
Okay. So my only options are audio, chat, raise hand, question, and answers.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to change yours to promote to rejoin. Okay, so you go live?
No, I'm not there. Hey, is that you? That's it.
Okay.
Yes, we got our team mom on the phone. I'm sorry, on live.
Okay.
I believe we have a coach on live, one of our coaches, and we are still waiting to see if any people are going to. Hey, son, how are you? We have an athlete on live, an athlete of a team.
You see Curry?
We did.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he
Okay.
kind of popped into the.
Okay, so questions are, I mean, being a teen mom is a interesting concept because I've always wanted to know. I've never been a teen mom. I've always either been a coach or a player. And when I was a parent, you know, when I had kids playing, I only primarily went to, became the medic, and that was something that the team had me do versus me selecting it. Is because my background was that, and they kind of like, this is what you're gonna do for us too. So was becoming a teen mom something you chose, or did it kind of choose you?
It chose me, of course. It would be nothing I would ever sign up for.
Right.
But I'm happy to say that it did choose me because I was perfect for that position.
Okay.
Are you?
Okay, so you said you're perfect for that position. So did the coach ask you, or was it one of those things that it means? Because I know how I do my parents. I would say, okay, well, this is season, we're in season, get ready to start preseason, whatever the case may be. Is there anybody interested in being a teen mom? And then sometimes you have volunteers. Some people like nobody volunteers. And then as things get closer to the season and responsibilities need to be managed, people will say at that point, oh yeah, I will go ahead and I will help. And then it just becomes a part of you for the next 4 years or however long your children are playing.
That's pretty much how it happened. I've been a team mom / team manager for so long, I can't even remember how it started, but I'm sure it was being asked to do it. I'm not even sure if I was chosen. I don't know. But
So you said something interesting. You said team mom / manager.
Mm.
What does that mean?
yes.
What does
Well,
that mean?
as my kids got older and I no longer had to buy snacks and that kind of thing, because now I'm a team manager for a basketball team. So initially I had to book the hotels, send all the correspondence to the parents. Most of the times I handle the stats, so I'm doing the books, the table, checking us in when we go out of town, you know, organizing all of that kind of stuff. So I was managing very much so.
Okay.
So I got out of the boys and girls realm into the AAU world. So that's when it really changed to a manager.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I know when we talked earlier, you were like, what do you want me to talk about for a team mom? So as Coach A said, we don't know anything about team mom. Now, I've been on the sideline, same situation. I'm not a good person to wipe running noses and make sure equipment is already on, especially when we're younger, right? So how did it change from when you were younger, well, you were a younger team mom or your kids were younger, to now? What was the difference?
Well, exactly what you just said. So I like being in the know,
Somebody else is
the benefits of being the team mom. So I got the field, shirts. Somebody's in pain because I'm also a physical therapist, so I had a little extra knowledge that I thought that could be beneficial on the sideline. So more than just tucking shirts and running noses. You got injured? Well, let's check you out. But I will say I always had Tiffany right there who was way better at that than I was. So she definitely made being a team mom.
Well, thank you for that. Somebody else is trying to come in. Monica's on, but we're trying to get her on too.
Okay, so she's there.
We see you.
Oh, okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So we had if somebody else is on.
This way?
Okay, no, Monica just, I'm sorry, we're still, go ahead.
So with, what would you say the pros and cons of being a team mom is? Or team manager? I like the fact that you're saying team manager.
Me too.
Because without a team manager, we're saying team mom right now because we're in Mother's Day, but now the team dad is starting to really pick up a whole lot at this point.
Exactly. That was another point.
Yeah, so and it's very having a team manager be able to coordinate all of those things is critical, because without it, teams won't function. You know, coaches kind of do their thing and the right and wrong. So that team manager has to be the one to say, "Oh no, we're not ready yet." And us from the administrative side, is able to if anybody's coming on, one moment. If anybody's coming on, please mute your mic until you are with your background noise here. Okay. All right. So go ahead, Tamika.
Yeah.
I will be muted.
Sorry, I got interrupted. So the biggest difference. So I'm sorry. Repeat the base your base question.
The base question
I was interrupted over here.
Being a mom.
You know, I said, what are the pros and cons of being a team mom?
Oh, yes. Okay, so the pros, for sure. I like getting to know the kids, and I like the kids knowing me. So when I come up and want to give them advice, I don't want them to look at me like, who is this crazy lady giving me advice? I want them to already have a relationship with me. Good. So I can then put my little 2 cents in, right, the little bit that I know. I also, like, because I'm on the basketball now, I like to know exactly what those refs are talking about. So the only way to get to know that is if I'm on that sideline being the manager, and then they will converse with me about whatever calls they made or missed or whatever my 2 cents. So I feel like I have a lot of pull when I'm sitting on that bench and they're missing a score. They'll listen to me because I'm the team manager. Just as a crazy mom coming up, they not having none of that.
Right.
As a team manager, at least I have a say and can affect change if necessary. The cons is they always want me to do it because I know how to do the books. I can't sit in the crowd with my family, my friends, and participate. I have to kind of be quiet on the sideline and keep up with that. So that's probably the biggest con. Other than that, it's great. I get to get in the games for free most times.
Okay, that's the pros. Okay.
Right. Free games.
Yeah, and I guess another con is I have to be on time. Like if I'm not there,
you don't have the luxury to run
I gotta
late.
be on their time.
Yeah.
Do you carry the books,
exactly,
things of that nature, or does the coach carry the books?
We both carry the books. So
okay.
In my heyday, I carried them. Matter of fact, they didn't have to worry about any of those things. I carried all of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but they would, depending on who the coach is, they would have like a backup plan, but that was generally not necessary.
Okay.
Okay, what would you say? How did other parents react to you? Because this is something that we observe in that parents sometimes could be jealous because they think you're getting some special privilege or some treatment that your child may be getting special treatment because you are the team mom, that you're going to look out for yours first before you look out for all of them as a collective group.
Or do you find yourself looking at your child first?
Well, the voice is going in and out again. Hold on. I can't hear.
Thanks for the thumbs up and thumbs down. Do you find yourself, no? Can you hear? I'm not sure if we have somebody else in the background. I think she went away. She did.
Okay.
It's all good.
I personally didn't have any I didn't have that kind of relationship with the parents.
Mm-hmm.
When I was on the Pee Wee side, first of all, I had tremendous help from the parents. We worked together as a foursome, so that was awesome. With no issues like that. My son never got preferential treatment, so I never fell in that camp anyway.
Okay, good.
And now, as an older team manager, that's still not the case. My son doesn't get preferential treatment, so I have no issues from the parents. As a people person, I'm not even sure what issues one could have.
Well, I would say this. What one thing you do find is that for if it's playing time, because some parents become team managers just in order to be able to ensure they are in the know of everything, all
Right.
the logistical stuff, and so they get in the
Right.
bids, and then they use that turnaround and sometimes use that information on a negative side. So there's a
Right.
great asset to having a great team manager, and then there's also when it goes bad horribly, because it often goes bad in public.
Right.
Then they let all the, what I would say, dirty laundry out, because when you're having a team, things
Right.
happen.
Right.
I have been a witness to that,
Okay.
but I have never experienced that myself. Luckily, my teams have not been with that type of drama, so I have nothing to say on that one because I didn't live it.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What resources would you say would be very helpful for anybody that's a team manager, as far as the team management, your communication tools that you use? Are you still using you're making your own Excel files and from there trying to sending out calls at that point?
GroupMe. That's the best thing that's been
Okay.
the best thing coming. GroupMe. We all having the same conversation at the same time, and no one is out of the loop.
Okay.
I don't even use anything else other than that.
Okay. You ever used TeamSnap? Anything like that?
I never even heard of that. What's it called?
TeamSnap.
Oh, TeamSnap. Yes, I never use that. I've been on teams that have used that, but if I'm communicating, I like GroupMe the best, probably because that's what I've been using the longest.
Yeah.
Right. More comfortable. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Is there any we have someone else on MLG. Who is this?
It's Monica. Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, Monica. How are you?
Monica.
Hi, how are you?
So
That was one of my awesome team mom helpers who made that thing roll like a
absolutely.
food engine.
Absolutely.
Monica, can we bring your face on?
Yes. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna go around, promote you to panelists. It's gonna shift off. It's gonna say something rejoin, boo, boo, boo. And now we should see your beautiful face. And there you are.
Hi. How are
I
you?
can't see Monica.
Hey, so we have the same, thank you so much for joining us. This is awesome. So we have the same questions for you. What are some pros and cons? We spoke earlier today. I thought it was a great conversation, and you gave me great insight on some things that I would have never thought about. So can you share with the public?
Absolutely. Because I was opposite of Tamika. When I raised my hand to be team mom because the coaches did ask, I was under the impression that I was just bringing snacks. I was
surprise.
Yes, I just thought it was a snack. I was going to make the best snacks, but it's really a full-time job. And as a team mom for the Pee Wee, we were like a liaison, because some of the coaches didn't even want to deal with some of the parents. So we act as a liaison. You had to be organized, structured, and just deal with a lot of other things other than making snacks. I wasn't aware of all that's entailed into the team mom title. It's definitely, like you said, Tamika, it's more team manager,
Yeah.
So it was an eye-opener for me, because I had not a clue what I was walking into.
One of my questions.
Now that you said that, I'm sorry to interrupt. Now that you said that, it took me back to the Pee Wee days. The part that was the biggest con was putting together those end of the year celebrations, getting the trophies, finding the place, make sure everybody came. That was very stressful, actually. Thank you for reminding me, Monica, of that.
I want to thank, I see a couple people have logged on. We thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or concerns or, suggestions while we're on Facebook Live at the same time, please comment and we'll have your comments on. The one question I have, so one of you were chosen and one of you were selected, right? Do you have to have meetings with the coaches and or players? Because I like that Tamika said she wants to get to know the players. So do you have meetings, and if so, like how do the meeting, are they through GroupMe or through text message, or how does that happen?
Well, I dealt more so with the coaches. I didn't really do the kids a lot. You know, the whole let me give you your water, let me go. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want. I'd rather deal with the parents and the coaches and that aspect of it. So for me, just dealing with the coaches was a positive. The con for me was actually dealing with the kids more so. I wasn't really into that part. I'll give you a snack. I'll get your birth certificate. I'll make sure everything is aligned. But running out on the field, squirting water, and doing that whole thing, no.
Okay.
So Tamika was great at that. She was actually awesome. Yeah.
So is it a difference between now that your children are older? Because we're trying to get the information out to parents, new parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the Pee Wee situation, Boys and Girls Club and situation. Now we have middle school and high schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
What is the primary difference between the two?
For me, I just think.
Well, I would say.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who's speaking?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, Tamika, go.
Either one, go ahead.
Okay. The biggest thing Tamika, is I only really deal with the parents more educational, and that's about it. Before I was really it's really the coaches and the kids are within each other. I don't really have too much to say to them now. Plus, they're not going to listen to me anyway. So my relationship is now more with the parents. It's fun as it used to be, because before we was out on the field and all of that. Now it's because it's mainly basketball for me. It's just more administrative, seriously, more than what kind of snacks we're going to have and what party we're going to do. There's nothing to do with that anymore. It's all about.
It's more the business side now. Would you say that?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And Monica, Monica, what you gonna say?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Tamika. It's more administrative now as they've gotten older. It's administrative, and it's I'm not the team mom currently with my son's baseball team. He plays travel ball, so I'm not a team mom. However, it is strictly administrative. It's organizing the trips, the tournaments, making sure, like you said, Tamika, the hotels, everything is in order. I enjoy this side more. Just the parents are more demanding. They're more demanding now because most of our kids are transitioning to high school, and so they're more demanding in terms of what are the coaches doing, how they're training the kids, why aren't they doing this, or why? Yeah. So they're more demanding, and
absolutely,
they do turn and ask me certain things because of the relationship I have with the coaches. So they're more demanding. Why isn't my child playing? Why are you playing this child more? So it's more demanding from the parents, and you have to answer some tough questions because you don't want to say, well, your child needs to step it up, or you need to spend more time. It's just not the coach's responsibility. Right. So that's the difference with the Pee Wee. It was just the kids, the fun. It was an organization level to it, but it was more fun when they were younger. Now it's more business, you know, because people are trying to get scholarships and that whole thing. So
right.
And trying to catch highlights or videotape highlights. So
yes. You know, I thank you, Monica, for that, because we are definitely going to have a lot of segments on the educational piece of these children, hopefully, prayerfully getting scholarships. So I'm glad you actually said that, shared that information.
Yeah.
Was there any role that you got kind of thrust into that you just like I did not sign up for this, you know, as far as a duty that actually kind of maybe came across your, you know, that you became responsible for, and it's like, just do it. You team manager, you team mom, go ahead, you got it, and then the coaches walk away. So was there anything that kind of fell onto your plate that was like, I don't want to do that?
Well, for me, I just know the availability. You know, it's more than just the practice time or the game time. You know, I would have a coach call me and I'm at work and like send this email or email a parent, and I'm like, no, I'm on my way to a meeting. I don't have time. You know, so you have to be aware. You have to really be available all day. That was more so a challenge for me as well.
Okay. You know, that is a big commitment. Hey, Xanthia, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm well.
Great. Would you like to share any of your insight on Teen Mom situations?
I ran our AAU program for years and swore by Team Snap. It was
Right.
I mean, listen, here's the most important thing. You know, the information that you put out is received. You're able to see that.
Yeah.
So that was really important to me. I knew what information I wanted to get across, and I didn't want anyone to have any excuses for not having the information.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As well as having information regarding like hotels and things like that, where you had to be, et cetera. And what was lovely about it is that you could make adjustments on the go. And then recording wins and losses and pictures and notes. Oh yeah.
Collecting the funds that went right there as
Because isn't
well.
there a spreadsheet on Team Snap where you can see transparency with the funds?
And then people can do their attendance too.
Yes, you can do
So I say they're not coming, and that was major when doing tournaments and travel.
Absolutely. Coordinate the
You gotta worry about somebody getting there. What?
Yeah.
You better see your availability. Check in.
So I'm on Team Snap with 3 different teams, 2 different children, right? So I'm trying to keep up with where we're going, how much it is, and things of that nature. But right now, I'm having technical difficulties with my Team Snap because it's not, and I said, I know it's probably just a button I need to push. I used to get updates like on my email. I actually have to go through my email now to see it, like it won't pop up. So
you should just put the notification on.
I tried that. That's why I said, so my question to you is, I want to try it again because I need to know, because I just go on Team Snap to see everything that's going on. The question is, do you actually share with the parents how to use it during your parent meeting? And that's the other question. Who runs the parent meeting? The coach or the team mom, team manager?
In our AAU program, I ran the team meetings. Okay. I got the information that the coach wanted to have, and he was a speaker, if you would, but I ran everything. So that's why. So I sent out the messages. I didn't have like an assistant coach or anyone else doing it. I did all of that. So it just really depends on your preference. I need to know what's going on. And again, I was running the whole thing. So, I mean, administratively.
Right.
I wasn't coaching.
The manager piece is awesome. So Monica said something about being a liaison. One thing that I think as a coach, I didn't want to speak to, as an athletic director, I didn't want to speak to every single coach, right? So I had each coach appoint a person of contact. So everybody was getting the same information. However, I wasn't disseminating information with 20 people at 20 different times. So as a team mom, are you that bridge to the parents' questions and things of that nature and the coach? Or are your coaches allowed or the parents allowed to free will, especially with your kids are in high school now, middle school, college, and things of that nature? Are you the bridge? And if you are the bridge, how do you feel about being a bridge? Any of you?
I was the bridge.
You were the bridge.
And I was okay being the bridge. Okay. Because the coach, it makes it easier for the coach to have to go through me than to be going back and forth with parents. Because as I heard someone mention earlier before I logged on, there are sometimes situations where there's disagreements about playing time, about, just all kinds of things. Somebody didn't pay and that's not fair and all those things. And so I had all of the information, I had the data. So it made sense to be the person who was the conduit for everyone.
And we already know data, we have to drive by data. So now we're talking about teen moms and this playing time thing, right? So look at the head shaking. So this playing time thing. And we know that your team mom meeting or your team manager meeting, we share playing time. It may not be equally distributed, especially when you're talking about on a higher level, okay? So And all the parents are like, yeah, we're good with that. We understand that. Yeah, we know. And then what happens? My kid doesn't get the playing time. My kid is sitting the bench. He's the one at practice. He's the one who has paid. Now what? I mean, are you like the coach's protector with that? Or do you allow the coach say, you know what, you might want to have this conversation with this parent? How does that work?
I think, yeah, that's a tough situation because you are confronted first, because initially when you're on the sideline with the parent, you know, you start hearing the mumbles.
Yes.
And then all of a
Yes.
sudden, yeah, so you do have to communicate to the coaches. What I do is communicate to the coaches saying, hey, this parent, you know, he really has a problem. His child isn't playing. They paid their money. And it's the coaches, to me, at that point, to have a conversation, an honest conversation with the parent. But I also always tell the coaches, you need to communicate that at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. You know, before these parents sign up, that your child may not play every game. You know, your child, they have to have a conversation. And I know in my case, some of the coaches don't. And as the season goes on, you know, and people aren't playing as much, it put you in an awkward situation, you know, and, you know, you try to diffuse it because you don't want the coaches to really get it and the parents to storm off the field. So you're trying to play this mediator, and it's like, hold up. This is, they're going to have, so I pass it right back to the coaches. And just be honest with them. That's what I do.
Okay. Is there
I have a little bit of a different perspective. I've gotten to sit in a few seats. So I was, again, like the team mom, if you would, also administrator of the entire middle school program. Ooh. But on top of that, my husband was a coach.
I was just about to ask that question. Okay.
So that adds a whole nother dynamic.
Right.
Because you'll be careful what you say about my. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm a coach's wife too. Well, I cannot sit in the stage. I can't be nowhere near it.
It's you know, it's definitely something where you have to exercise professionalism, to be honest with you.
Right.
Especially because there were times when obviously I had a son on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Watching
so
now.
there were times when mom, your son is playing and your husband is the coach.
Correct. And there was a time when my husband was coaching and my son was not on the team. So I had, you know, all those different dynamics. But again, I think it's just really important that there is an established protocol. Okay. So in our system, the protocol was to go through me anyway.
Okay.
So my husband, fortunately, was always very professional in the way he was handling it as well. So we were very strategic about how we handled things. We didn't talk about other folks and things like that. We didn't talk, you know, to other parents and things like that because it's just not appropriate. But as far as playing time goes, we would have conversations, and it depends on the level that you're playing at.
Right.
But obviously, we were on an elite basketball team. Like, this ain't the why, boo.
Exactly.
And I've been on both ends. I've had a child who played darn near every minute, and I had a child who sat the bench more than I thought he should have.
Right.
Even when my husband was coaching. Right. So again, you have those conversations, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, you have to respect what the coach does.
We definitely thank you for that. Hey, Destiny, how are you?
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
I spoke to Destiny earlier last week, and asked her, because she's a cheer mom, right? So we have baseball moms, basketball moms, football moms on here. She's a cheer mom. And I asked her, is she a team mom? And she's like, no. I was like, wow, because I wasn't expecting for her answer to be no. She shared this information with me on she would love to be a team mom, but she can't because what, Destiny?
So my life comprised of different things. So I not only go to school, I teach, and we run around a lot. So I have homework to do, classwork to do, help her with her homework and things like that. So it's too much to add on to pick up other kids and to buy all the snacks. I gotta buy all her stuff already, like, and do everything already for her school, and
Right.
because I participate in a lot of her school events and things, it's just too much.
So as you listen to all the other teen moms now, Xanthony has probably been the longest teen mom on our panel. Her son is in college, so you know she's probably been doing this since she's been younger. As you listen to everyone saying these things, do you still want your time commitment? Would you still like to do it? Or is it swaying you a different direction? And just to think about is beyond the snack. So we probably should put the teen mom beyond the snack. As long as my son got the snack, I was good.
It definitely entails more than the snack. It definitely.
I would like to do it.
Oh, you still were like, okay, good.
We'll do it.
Yeah, so I would like to do it. I would like to do it, but again, the time thing. So I guess as she gets older, it could get a little bit easier because she needs so much. She's only 7. So, you know, she can't drive us up to practice. She can't, you know, she can't do any of those things. So I have to physically take her everywhere that I go.
Right.
So it's a little hard and a little bit more strenuous. And then I'm trying to do school. So I should be out of school soon. So, you know.
We claiming it. We claiming it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that will free up more time. And then just a few other things. Like, you know, she'll probably just be doing cheerleading instead of trying to do art club and cheerleading on the side and other things at school. So, you know.
So definitely I want to be really transparent with you, and I think all the moms can attest to this. We have kids and they their friends are starting to play other sports or doing other things, and now they want to do it. And you have
no negative. No.
So you're not,
because guess what? I'm not going to be running around my head chopped off. No negative. You're going to do this or you're going to do that. That's it. And, you know, you can do stuff at school, but, you know, as long as it doesn't take away from anything that I'm doing and stuff that you need done too, because I'm the one got to drive.
So it's so funny because me and Destiny talk often, right? And she's like, she doesn't understand how I pick one kid up, bring them back to the school, go to workouts, go to DC, go to Baltimore, all in one day. And then I'm still, you know, working. And she's like, yeah, no, I can't do this. But, you know,
That's crazy.
It's in my brain.
That's crazy.
You just do it. Yeah. It just meshes. I couldn't even, the thought process of time and putting it on a calendar would never work. However, you know, with 2 kids, one kid was doing soccer and basketball, and the other kid was doing martial arts, baseball, and soccer, and it was just like, it gets done. You know, I don't know how I did it, you know, but, you know, as far as the teen mom is concerned, they're like, you want to be a teen mom? Absolutely not. It's too much. It's too much.
I got to ask a question because my thing, anybody that see me and know me, they know I'm about sports safety and the whole first aid, knowing how to manage the injuries and things like that. I've seen some teen moms do some tremendous things on them sidelines. As far as even they get an injury, they're giving ibuprofen on the sidelines.
Oh, wow.
In the midst of, like, you cannot do that.
No.
They'll try to hide and go underneath the tent or go over there and give it to somebody. I mean, I'm like, because they want the kids to get back in there. Of course, they pick their.
No, we're going
to get back in there. So, what was the process, or is there a process in place for managing injuries? Because, like, say, when them kids come off the field or the court, whatever, they come and sit on the end of the bench. And sometimes the coaches come over, but once they come over, the coaches go back like, okay, so you got it. They transition and then they go right back to coaching. So what is the protocols that you have been most, aware of and seen, especially when there's not a trainer in a facility or or EMS or EMT or anything like that?
But before anybody answers that, with that said, you have to be certified in something. Did you have to take some kind of certification test? That's our
So I'll share. We had to do NCAA certification, coaches certification each year, which does not require you to have CPR training.
Oh, wow.
So we did not have to have CPR training, and most of the times, obviously at our level, it was an elite basketball program, there were trainers available. So that obviously would be your first go-to. It also is one of the reasons why I was fine with being a teen mom, because I was going to be there anyway. Let me be clear.
Right.
So as a mom, my instincts jump in.
Yeah.
Right? This is my experience being, an educator for 20 plus years and all of that. I wanted to be there in the gym, because I can tell you, that was probably his ACL, those kinds of things, just over the years of time. So it just really depends on the level. I mean, a lot of times in these programs, we're talking about volunteer coaches.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Somebody's dad or uncle, they're not doctors.
Right.
And look, and I'm a doctor, but not an MD.
All right.
So again, these are my mommy skills coming more so than any medical experience. But I think it's actually it's important for us as parents to be there. So that if my baby went down, I was taking them to urgent care. It wasn't someone else. It wasn't someone telling me, oh, it was a really bad sprain, but it doesn't look too bad. We'll see how he does. Lies, devils, and ifs. We're out.
But you know what? Thank you for that, because I'm thinking about what Destiny said. It's so many times that kids are just dropped off, especially the younger ones. But you know what? Now, my child is 16U, and kids are dropped off. Parents come back and pick them up.
Or they drive themselves.
Or they drop themselves. When they're younger, how many times when our kids were younger, especially Monica and Tamika, where our kids are all the same age range, dropped off at the field, and then we don't see the parents for 2.5 hours later.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely correct. Like, mommy skills have to kick in, and I try to say, I'm a mom to pretty much all the kids if the parents aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think is there should be mandatory training? Because I feel like, this is me, because we're trainers of sports safety, that there should be a mandatory training for all the coaches and the team parents before any season starts. And ideally, I feel like it should be some form of regulation. There are national regulations, but as implementation of it, it doesn't necessarily occur. And I think how, as teen moms, because again, there's a lot of power. That's why I say the power of a teen mom is where that thrust will come from. Because you rally the parents and say, okay, we need to make sure, for instance, if they're playing any contact sport, they're getting baseline concussion screening. Because I know in cheer has the parent education piece, and all of them have the National Federation of High School and have to look at the CDC, concussion thing.
Oh, wait, but that's
after
only
that,
at school levels. That's only at schools. So
no.
But she's saying in her
organization.
That's at schools, because my daughter does competitive cheer.
Okay.
And so there are some of that stuff, but only when you get to the actual some of the competitions. But the coaches and her teams and the owners are prepped on all of that stuff, so they know what to do with something. Like, my daughter just broke her arm doing a double backhand spring. I'm sorry.
Wow.
She broke her wrist, and they immediately, they took her. They made sure she was stable, good, whatever. Called us, her parents, and things like that. And then they called 911. Like, they were really good at,
the emergency net
and things like that. So, yeah, and she wasn't crying or anything, but I think it's because they took so good care of her.
Did you stay calm, Mom?
No, I was freaking out.
Of course. So the question at hand: do you think that teen moms, managers, and/or parents should be certified? Like,
I think they should.
Me too.
It can't be policed though. That's the challenge.
True.
It wouldn't be able to be policed. Just think about it. I mean, those of you who are teen moms, when I would go on and sign up for particular tournaments, if the particular tournament required that you showed that all your coaches that were going to be on the bench had NCAA coaches clearance, a lot of times you couldn't do it. They couldn't do it, or the team would opt not to participate in that tournament, etc. If you didn't jump through all the hoops, there's not a way to police it. I think about even back when my children played football for the township. We were talking about how they used to have to go with their little cards
Yeah.
You guys still do that?
Yes, that's a certification process.
Yeah,
That's
to make sure that the kid is the actual kid. Well, they would have to implement something like that. But with all of the thousands, I think about basketball, how the tournaments and the programs run the gamut in terms of how highly publicized and how highly how reputable they actually are.
Right.
Some of them are way more reputable than others. Let's put it like that. And so I just don't know how you would police it. I mean, kids do all kinds of things to be on a particular team, really between traveling from state to state to be on a team.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to police parents doing it. I mean, you might be able to try it with coaches, but it only what gets checked gets done. So unless someone's measuring it.
Well, pretty much it would be the organizer and whoever is given the certification to be able to host it. You know, so everybody would have, there's a governing body. So whoever is sanctioning, whoever's giving that sanctioning certificate would be the one to actually really have to say by XYZ date, the teams that have registered, paid their fee, got to show XYZ. You know, I know people are going to be like, no. But if we want to change the climate and the culture, because, you know, it's getting bad. It's getting bad. And unfortunately, we know a lot of children. So you all were privy to the insurance. How many parents did you all have, or children that you all managed that didn't have any insurance?
But that's definitely something that we needed to do before the season started. We had to get team insurance, whatever that insurance was
so
called.
you had to get supplemental insurance if you didn't have any.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And see, we pay as an organization. That was one of the things that I insisted upon doing. We bought insurance every year. So yes, you can purchase.
Was that the insurance to cover each child for an injury?
Right. So the insurance covers your program, so that whatever gym you're practicing in or whatever, if there's an injury, then the insurance will cover.
But what about the injury for the insurance for the athlete themselves?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're talking about injury insurance. Now, I can't assure that you have Aetna for your personal.
Right. That's the question.
If your child falls and breaks your wrist in gymnastics, and it was in my gym where I had certified for us to have insurance,
right?
And that insurance policy will pay for the medical doctor's bills for that. Right. So that was one of my charges as running the organization.
Right.
Destiny, what were you gonna say?
Well, with my daughter, when she started, everybody has to have some type of insurance card, some type of medical something. You have to have something, and that's for every athlete that signs up. And that's your personal stuff. So if something does happen, they know that you actually have insurance and things like that. So that was a requirement.
So what's interesting to me is, as an athletic director, so it was a couple things in our county. We had mandatory every student had to take a concussion the concussion test, right? So they could know what a concussion looked like, which I thought that was awesome. So we managed that, right, as a school. But then you come to the insurance. They have a documentation where you have to fill out on what is your insurance. We've had people who filled out the insurance, and guess what?
Didn't have insurance.
They got her and didn't have insurance. So the only thing, like you said, we only can go by what you tell us. We think that number is right. We're not calling a number. However, a kid gets hurt, they say we have this insurance. Now we're looking for the insurance, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have insurance." And then they're looking at the school, like, "What you gonna do now?"
Yeah.
And that has been our challenge today. That has been our challenge. So you're absolutely correct.
Very much, because I having had people will be mad because when you call the ambulance.
Yes.
Do not put them in the ambulance. We show them like, this particular injury, you can't put them in your car.
Right.
It can be stabilized a certain kind of way. Then people's like, well, this is my child. Yeah, it's great. But the thing is, as athletic directors, when you do the management side, if you don't put parameters, so I would have people, you sign off right here, just like the ambulance. Sign off that you said you are not going to put them here. We're not going to transport. And then that way we would have it. Then that way anything come back, that insurance or that liability that you're going to come back and now try to sue because this injury became bigger than it initially was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, see, we signed off on liability. So, like when my daughter broke her arm, no, you can't sue the gym or something like that. No, you sign off in the very beginning. So if something does happen to your athlete from them doing a flip or a jump or they tumble wrong, you can't sue them because it's already documented. You already signed off when you started. So no.
Unless it was something wrong with the equipment, the mat was had separated or it slid.
Oh, no.
Along those lines, then that will be on the facility.
They covered everything. They was like, no, and no.
Okay. Yeah. All right, ladies, is there one last statement you could say to anyone that is planning to be a teen mom or is in the midst of it? What would you just give them as kind of keeping them encouraged and or one last best practice that you can give them?
Do what you can, don't overdo it.
Okay. Thank you, Destiny. Tamika?
That was a good one. You just got to be really flexible with your time and be a people person. And if you need help, ask for help. It doesn't all have to be on you for real. You really can get other parents to do. When I had the foursome teen mom thing, that was the best operation because Monica did the snacks. I did the bench stuff and someone else did the emails. I don't know what they did, but that was perfect. So don't be afraid to ask for help if help is needed.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Xanthia?
Yep.
I would just say being present is key.
Okay.
And organized. If you're able to do that, even if you have a team of people who are helping you, it's just about being organized. And I just think I can't stress it more enough how important it is that the parents be present, not present. Now, no, that's what got you in this mess. No.
Exactly. Thank you, Monica. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, although I had a few questionable moments as a teen mom, it was a great experience. It really was. You meet truly awesome parents. So I would just say the same thing, Tamika, don't be afraid to ask for help. Take a moment sometime and just calm yourself down because it's a great experience. It is.
The best.
And you meet lifetime friends.
Yeah.
Your kids do. They've created lifetime friends. So it's a great experience. Just settle down, take a moment, and ask for help.
One last question. You have something, Tamika?
I do. As a parent, with our previous team was well organized, although the coach mainly did all the organization. And on a different team is not nearly as organized, and they definitely need a team mom because so many things are happening that should not happen, that if someone was in place to do this job, things will be way more organized. So that organization piece is so vital. So if you go to a team that don't have a team mom, leave the team or become the team mom.
Yes. If the team is really good, because you're a good coach does not mean that administration is your gift.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh my God.
To improve the whole organization. And one more thing. I just want to tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
So the other thing, I came onto this chat just because I saw it when I was going through Facebook, which I don't even be doing all the time. So that one number got.
I know, right?
I don't even be watching. But just so you know, it's interesting that we should even be having this conversation because I have a business. I started a business around this very topic.
Okay.
Well, if you would, it's kind of in the topic. So we started a business called Empowered, spelled with an I and 2 D's, I'm Powered. But my husband and I started a business to kind of help families navigate the systems because there are systems. Now my son is now actually out of college.
Okay.
This year, but he'll be in the draft June 20th.
All right.
So we're helping families understand how to go about getting your child where you want them to be or where they're destined to go as it relates to basketball. And then also we have a whole other side that is focusing on education. helping people navigate through the system of education. Because again, if you know the right folks and the right vocabulary, you can get where you need to get concerning your child. So if you're all ever interested, the website, like I said, it's Empowered with an I and 2 D's at the end. But
definitely Empower and ANA Athletic Consulting needs to collaborate.
Yes.
Because that is where we what we do, as well as the vigilant side with the sports safety and awareness side. So, you know, if we had to tag team, like you all, we're doing the safety component, because that is so important.
Oh,
you know,
my
we
God.
can't drop the ball on that. And then I'm doing with the academic side. So we got to be in the same room doing our own things, but definitely as a strong force of women and organizations that have the best interests of the student athletes and at heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, well, we
It's
thank
awesome.
you. Yes, and we thank you so much, and we definitely look forward to you ladies. We are on every Monday at 5 o'clock. Next week's
segment is
the woman.
No, the rebound. The rebound.
There you go.
Coming back to the game after having a baby.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
That's more for the coaches and players. You know, it's a lot of, like, I was a person coaching pregnant, right? And right after the baby, I'm jumping right back at it. So is that person any athlete who was pregnant and came back? It's a lot of WNBA players, and we're excited about that. Again, this month being, we're going to say a Mother's Month. We're doing everything based around women. So if you have any questions, please let us know.
And the following week is the man behind the woman.
The man behind the woman. So any
the man behind the woman. So those that you know that are coaches that have spousal support, you know, whether it's a spouse or their significant other that is supporting them, we've got to go ahead and start doing their interviews and have just have them preset, because we know every spouse and team ain't gonna be able to get on at 5 o'clock.
Right.
But we can have it preset, and then we just kind of run it back to back to back and play it, because like I say, each one got to reach one, and we just want to kind of continue to share a great message to the community, and just kind of continue to bring up different topics of thought, because we talk in our own pockets, but we don't kind of put it out there, because no thought that many of us have is that unique that you're the first one ever to think about it.
Right.
But that eliminates some of that negative chatter sometimes that happens in the stands, you know, and in and around. Like, I don't know why they do it like that. I mean, well, sometimes policies and procedures why we have to do it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I mean, it was one thing that happened from the transition from youth ball to going to high school. That was something that a lot of teen parents had to realize, why we can't do grapples in the stands, because it's a county rule. All right, before we close out, I wanted to also recognize some good sites on Facebook that exist as Sports Moms United, Sideline Hackers, Sports Mom Network, and Confessions of a Sports Mom. These are sites that are online that are resources.
Can you repeat those, please?
Our support groups have thousands of teen moms in them that are actually available. And then momsteam.com is a great tool that has some outstanding material on anything you could possibly think of in regards to sports and moms. All right, and management, administration.
Can you repeat those again, please? I wasn't ready to read.
Okay,
So you said
Sports Moms United.
Okay.
Sideline Hacker. Sports Moms Network. And Confessions of a Sports Mom. And then we'll also type it in on the Facebook on the Facebook stream in the comments. So everything will be there. And also you can do the same thing with your business.
Yes,
type in the email address right there in the comment section on the stream. It's on Facebook.
Let me see. Oh, okay. On Facebook.
Yeah.
And we were going to shout out. Thank you for that. You know, so look for Empowered to come 2 Ds at the end. Come back and join us on Monday at 5 o'clock for our next segment. And we appreciate the panelists. Thank you so much. Monica had to go. We appreciate you guys, you ladies. Ladies First Radio. Ladies First Radio.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.